Okay guys, so in this video, let's see that how do we create a user model inside our application, and then how do we register our user. Though we'll be doing registration without validation as of now, but we'll be creating the user model and we'll be registering our first user. So let's go back to our application, and here we have created this models folder. As you can see here, let me increase the font size. So this is the models folder that we created, and inside this models folder, I would create a new file that would be called user.model.js. So let me create it. So user.model.js like this, and it is simply a convention to keep the file names like this, that is user.model.js. And now here what I am going to do, I am going to create my user model. So firstly we require the mongoose package. So const mongoose equal to require mongoose, and then what we'll do, we'll create our user schema. So const user schema, and basically this user schema is the blueprint of our user object that is kept inside our MongoDB database. So const user schema is equal to new mongoose.schema like this, and then we pass in the object here that is inside this schema thing here, and here we'll be providing our properties, and the first one would be email, and here we can specify the type. The type would be string like this, and this property is always required whenever we are going to create a new user, and then this should be converted into lowercase, and the last property of this email field will be unique. That is, this email should be unique inside our database, that is inside a collection called users, and this should be true like this. And then we would have another property inside our user schema, and that would be called password, because we want to store the password of the users, and the type would again be string, and it should be also required like this. So that's all what we need as of now as the blueprint of our user schema. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create the model from this user schema, that is this user schema we have just created, and this should be equal to, that is const user equal to mongoose.model, and here we need to provide in the collection name, and here we need to provide it as singular, because mongoose will automatically convert this user to plural, that is users, inside our MongoDB database. And then we need to pass in the user schema, that is the user schema that we just created. And then finally we need to export this user model. So module.exports equal to user. And now this user object can be used inside any of our files here, that is .js files. So now let me save this file from here. So this is basically our user schema that is inside our database, though you can have any number of fields inside this user schema, but for now I am simply keeping it to email and password here. Okay, so now let's handle the register route. So if we go to our application, we have this form here that says email and username, and if we type any email here, that is truly at gmail.com or something like this, and the password should be something, and confirm password should be 123 or whatever. So there is no validation right now. So if we click on register here right now, so we simply are getting back this register post here, and this register post, that is, this things come from a post route. So let's go back to our application here, and let's open the auth.route.js file, and this is basically coming from this route here, that is this route here. So let me reorganize my things here. So let's take this login at the above and register it at the below, so that both the get and post route are side by side. So here what we are going to do, we are going to create our first user inside this post route here, that is /register, or rather /auth/register, because it is an auth.route.js file. So now firstly what we can do, we need to parse the incoming request body. So for now let me simply send back the request body. So rest.send, and here we can simply send request.body like this, but this won't work because we haven't passed our request body inside our app.js file. So let's go to our app.js file, and here after setting the public folder, what we can do, we can simply say app.use express.json to parse the incoming JSON body, though it is not required by our application as of now, but let's keep it here also. So and app.use express.url encoded, And here we need to pass in one property, and that is extended to be false, not true but false, like this. So now let's save this application, and now we can parse the incoming post request body. So let's go to our auth_route.js file, and here let's save this file also, that is this file. And now the application restarted. So now let's go back to our /auth/register route. And now if we write something here, that is truly@gmail.com and password 12, pass confirm 12, let's press enter. And we see now we are getting the request body back here. That is the email, password and password 2. And password 2 is the confirm password. So now let's see how do we create a user object from this thing here inside our database. So for this, what I'm going to do, let me go back here. I'm simply going to require the user model that we created a couple of minutes ago inside this auth_route.js file. So let me import it. Or let me require it. So const user equal to require. We need to go up one folder into the models folder, and then we need to get this file, that is user.model file. And now we can use this user model inside this post route here, that is this route here. So firstly, what we can do, we can simply say const user equal to new user, like this. And here we can simply pass in the request.body here, because our request body contains the email and the password, and this user model requires these two fields here, that is the email and password, and we have both the fields there. Though the request body contains the password too also, but it doesn't matter, it would be ignored by our user model since it doesn't exist in a user schema, so it would be ignored. And here what we can simply do, we can simply await, that is await user.save, like this. And this user would be saved inside our database. And here what we can do, we can simply send back the user object that we just saved. So we can simply say response.send user, like this. And now since we are using await inside this async function here, what we need to do, we need to do all this stuff inside the try and catch block. So let's create a try and catch block. So try catch, like this, and let's take all this piece of code inside the try block. So Control X and Control V inside the try block, and then inside the catch block, what we can do, we can simply call in next here, that is next with the error parameter that is coming here as the error. And basically this error would be directly handled by our this route here, that is the error handler we created, that is app.use with error as the first parameter. So whenever you call next with the error parameter as the first parameter here, this would directly call this route here, or this piece of code here, that is app.use error request response next. So now what we have done till now is that we have directly created the new user from the request body that is incoming. But what we need to do, firstly we need to check if the user exists with the email that is coming inside the request body. So we can get the email from the request body very easily. So const email equal to request.body. We are using restructuring here, and here what we can do, we can simply check if the user already exists in our database. So const does exist equal to user, and here we need to use await user.find1, and here we can simply pass in the email thing here, that is email, like this. Or what we can do, we can simply ignore this other email here, because these two key value pairs names are same, so we can ignore the value thing here, and it would automatically be converted into this thing here. So now let's save this. And now what if the user exists? So firstly we'll say if does exist. If the user exists, we can simply redirect back to the register page. So res.redirect, and here we need to redirect him back to the auth/register page, like this. And then we need to simply return from this block of code here, that is from this try block. We do not want to continue ahead to create a new user here. So now let's save this file, and everything seems to work fine. And now what we can do, we can register our first user. So let's call our first user John. So John at gmail.com, and the password is 12, confirm password is 12 again. So let me press enter, and we see that we created a new user here with this ID and this email, and the password is 12, And to see that inside our database, what I am doing, I am using this MongoDB compass here to view databases that are kept inside our MongoDB. So it is pretty simple to use. So you can simply click on try now and it would be downloaded. And basically it's a GUI tool to view MongoDB. So once you open this MongoDB compass, it would look something like this. And here, since we are using MongoDB locally, so we simply need to press connect here, and we'll be seeing all the databases present on our system. So we are working in this database, that is RBAC tutorial. So let me click here, and we see here that we have a collection called user, as we see here. And the number of documents is 1 because we have just created a single document with a single user here. So now let me press users here. And we see that we have only one document inside our users collection with an ID of this, and the email is this, and the password is 12. But keeping passwords in plain text is never an option. So we need to encrypt this password, and to encrypt this password, what we need to do, we need to use the bcrypt module. So let's do that. So let's stop our application and install another package that is called bcrypt. So npm install bcrypt like this. So let it install, and let me start the application again in a moment. So it is installed, and now let me start it again. So npm run dev. So the application restarted, and now since we are calling user.save, we have a middleware that is fired when this save function is called, and we can use that middleware inside our user model. So let's go to our user model here, and here what we can do, we can fire a middleware here that fires whenever someone saves a document inside our collection. So what we can do here, we can simply say user schema.pre, and here we have this save thing here that is pre-saving the document. We have this middleware that is going to be fired, and here we can use a function here. And why I'm using function, I'll let you know in a moment. And this function takes in one parameter, and that is the next. And this function should be again an async function. And why I'm not using arrow function here is this, because we cannot use the this keyword inside this function if we are using the arrow function. And since we want to use the this keyword, we are going to use a normal function here, that is like this. And here we are again going to use the try catch block. So try catch. And if there is an error, what we can do, we can simply call next with the error parameter, and it should be error like this. And then inside this try block, what we need to do, we need to create a salt for our password. So const salt equal to await bcrypt. And before using bcrypt, we need to require this bcrypt packet at the top here. So const bcrypt equal to require bcrypt like this. And now we can use that bcrypt package. So bcrypt dot gensalt like this, and here we need to pass in the number of rounds, and you can pass in from 8 up to 20 rounds, but 10 is sufficient, because if you pass in more number of rounds, it will take a lot of computing power and a lot of time to generate the salt. So 10 is a good number, and you can read more about the number of rounds on the bcrypt package itself, that is on the npm website, to see to learn more about the bcrypt package. But here you can typically pass 10 rounds here, and then from this salt, we can generate an hashed password. So const hashed password equal to await bcrypt dot hash, and we are using the asynchronous version, not the sync version or the synchronous version. And here we need to provide in the password and the salt, and the password for this user that is going to be saved, we can get from this dot password. So this dot password like this, and then we need to provide in the salt here like this. And then what we can do, we can simply say this dot password should be equal to the hash password. That is, we are overwriting the password with the hash password here, and then we can simply call in next here like this. But again, there is a problem with this approach, is this, that every time you are going to save this user, even after, if you're modifying some field of the user, even if you're trying to change the password of the user, or if there are other fields inside this user schema and you are going to update those fields and you are going to use the .save function like this here, that is .save thing here, then this piece of code would always run. So to protect that, what you can do, you can make an if check here, that is if this is new, like this. And let me explain it to you in a moment. So let me put this code here firstly, like this. So basically this refers to the user object that is going to be saved. So this is a mongoose property, that is if this user object or this user document is new, and then only we are going to hash our password. Otherwise we can simply call on next. So this is what we are doing here. So now let me save this user model, and now let's try to register another user here. So let's go back to auth register, and now let me put in an email, something like admin@gmail.com, the password 12, confirm password 12. Let me press register, and now we see that we get a user object back here with this ID. The email is this email, and now we see the password is hashed and it is not a plain text password. So let's go to our database here and let me refresh it, and now we have two documents with email john@gmail.com and email admin@gmail.com. So let's try to register another user with the same email. So let's copy the email and let's try to register the same again a user with the same email, password 12, confirm password 12, and let me press on register. So we see that we are redirected back to the register page because we have made this if check here, that is since the user existed, so we have been redirected back to the auth/register page. Though we are not seeing any message here that the user has been already registered. So that's what we are going to do in the next couple of videos. That is how to display flash messages. So that's what we are going to do in the next video. So see you in the next one.